Welcome to Mando and Friends, presented by Verizon. My name is Mando Fresco, and today I am joined by award-winning singer, songwriter, Sofia Reyes. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very, very happy that you're here. I'm doing well, and
I'm happy
I'm better
here.
that you're hanging out with us.
I'm super happy to be here. Thank you so much. And the whole crew is amazing. Yeah, super excited. Happy Tuesday.
Happy
It's
Tuesday,
right? Yeah, it's Tuesday.
So we're going to talk about your journey, okay? I know there's a lot of people that have been inspired by you, what you do, but we want to know how you got there, right?
Yeah.
Like you weren't just hitting the biggest stages and getting all these streams overnight. Like that just doesn't happen.
No, never.
You got to put in the work.
Always.
So
Yes.
do you remember when you first fell in love with your
Music?
craft, with music?
Well, I'm from Monterrey, Mexico. Grew up there. I was born there, grew up there. Always loved music. I feel like my closest encounter would be my mom's mom. She plays classical piano.
Oh.
And I fell in love with it, and she started teaching me piano. That was the first encounter, even before like singing or anything like that. And then also going to school, I would always take the writing classes. I loved like creating stories, telling stories.
Yeah.
You know, oratoria, no sé cómo se dice en inglés, pero clases de oratoria y todo esto.
It's oratory.
Oratory?
No, I just made that up.
I was that person. Oh, really? Well, I was a person that, la, la, la. And I always loved all of that. And then when I was maybe a little bit older, I would say 10, 11, started taking singing lessons. I didn't think it was going to be something, that I was going to end up being a singer actually. Como que siempre fue un sueño, pero lo veía como, ¿sabes? Lo veía como... Y, singing in school, I started making an album with my dad. My dad loves music. That's not his profession, but he loves music.
Loves it.
Plays the bass, writes songs. He has a studio in my house. So we started making songs. My best friend, we were inseparables. She also loves to sing, so we did an album. Nothing happened to it. I remember we sent it to, I think it was Sony, and they like declined fue como, teníamos 12 años, pero we did a whole album. So I remember after school, we would go, her and I, rehearse, figure out who was gonna sing what, harmonies, everything, and we would go to a studio. My tío, se me olvidó cómo se dice, my uncle's studio, home studio, and we did an album. So that's when things started for me, I would say. Because with that experience, I realized that I loved writing songs, singing songs, performing, being in the studio. That was like my favorite thing. And then, life kept going on, and after that, I started going to music school, started playing drums, guitar, more piano, singing, and then we would sing at like malls and like everywhere,
wherever
like,
you can,
donde se pudiera.
Sí.
Y después, I auditioned for this like grupo de música. Era como una banda de pop, como muy noventero. And I moved to Guadalajara because I was part of that group. I was part of that group for like a year and a half, and then I moved to LA. But it's been a journey.
How old were you when you moved to LA now? At that point?
Before going to LA, you mean?
When you moved to LA, how old were you?
I was 17.
17.
I'm about to be 28. So it's been 11 years since I moved here. Mm-hmm. But before that, it's also been a whole like journey, and it's beautiful to see how you meet some people, and that people opens up opportunities for you, and then you meet other people, and and how all this journey takes you to the place we are, no, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Entonces he estado en diferentes proyectos antes de venirme para acá. Y yeah, it's been fun. Many years, if I think about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget, you know? But I've been here for 11 years.
Wow, that's beautiful. So your parents, you would say they were supportive from the get-go, or because I know sometimes, you know, you hear, like in my case,
Yeah.
they were very traditional. So when I told them that I wanted to, you know, have a career in entertainment, they were like wait,
no.
right? Yeah, because that's not what they knew, or they
Yeah.
weren't really open to it, you know? Like, but your parents, you would say they were supportive?
They were always supportive. My family comes from a family of like doctors, so it has nothing to do. I wouldn't say nothing to do, but it's you know, well, yeah, it's different.
It's a different industry.
Definitely.
Sí.
My parents, both of them, are very artistic. As I was saying, my dad loves music. He plays at bars with his friends. Like, he's passionate about music. And my mom, she's a ceramista. She does ceramics.
Oh, nice.
So they're both very artistic. So they always love the idea of supporting me, but they never thought I was actually going to be very serious, you know, about it. So when I moved to LA, my mom cried and cried and cried and cried. She couldn't believe that I was actually going for it. But yes, they've been supportive in the sense of whatever makes you happy, whatever you want to do the best you can, and we're here for that. We want to see you happy.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and that's something I value so much, because I know that without that, it would have been even harder for me to like move to LA and actually, you know, do it. So that is a very important, definitely very important part. I'm always grateful for that.
What was the hardest part about doing all of that then?
Yeah. At that age, I felt like the oveja negra. In a sense of like all my friends were living a type of lifestyle. They were going to high school and all that kind of stuff. And I felt like my journey took me to the opposite side. And for many years, I felt very lonely. You know, I was like, I don't feel that, you know, I'm part of this crew in a way. But I also don't feel like I'm part of this crew here. Like, where do I belong type of thing. For me, especially those years, that was the hardest. Yeah, it was like, that for me was the hardest. Felt very lonely, and then obviously being super far away from my family. Yeah. That was a little tough. Yeah.
At what point did they moved out here, right? They're here now?
No.
Oh, no.
They always stayed in Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how do you go to them? They come to you?
Mostly I go to them. Because it's easier for me to go than like bring 4 people. And, you know, and then my brothers are super old now. They're 21 and 19, and they're always like in exams, like all this kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I try to go every 2-3 months.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. Hey, Mando here. Right now, you can have everything you want on the network you really want. Introducing my plan. Get exactly what you want, only pay for what you need. Starting at just $30 per line per month for 4 unlimited lines with autopay plus taxes and fees. From there, you decide exactly what goes in and what stays out of your plan. So you pay for what you want. Head over to Verizon.com/Mando right now.
You said Verizon.com/Mando, right?
Yeah, Verizon.com/Mando, but we're still shooting the commercial.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. Get exactly what you want, only pay for what you need, starting at $30 per line. All right, let me help you out.
Okay.
All right, so you go here. And when you do make it out to Mexico, what part of Mexico are they living in now?
Monterrey.
Oh, they're Monterrey.
Yeah.
So Monterrey, when you go back
They
to
always stay
Monterrey,
there.
What's your favorite thing about going back home?
Wow, I love the city. I would say obviously my family. They still live in the same house I grew up in, so it's just very special.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially now, I feel like most importantly for me, the family. I spend so much time with them. My friends. The food is amazing. I don't know if have you been to Monterrey?
I haven't been to Monterrey.
No?
No.
The food is amazing.
But I've heard.
It's insane. It's insane. We have great food. And then, yeah, just the city itself. Like, it's very home to me,
Yeah.
Siento que es como chiquita y es como todas las calles en las que siempre he crecido y todo sigue igual in a way.
Yeah.
Entonces, yeah, I love it. I try to go and stay for at least a week if I can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know your parents have told you they're very proud of you.
Yes. Yes.
Multiple times. How does that feel to you now that you've accomplished so much?
Yeah, I mean, in my family, it's funny because como que expresarnos siempre ha costado un poco.
Sí.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Entonces, para nosotros siempre ha sido difícil decir estoy orgullosa de ti,
Yeah.
¿no?
Yeah.
O te quiero, te amo. Como
Yeah.
que en mi familia hemos como tratado de romper un poco con eso. Entonces, por mucho tiempo no venía necesariamente directamente de mis papás de que estoy orgullosa de ti, pero era como en sus acciones, I would say. El que siempre están pendientes de todo. Cantaba aquí, cantaba allá y mis papás venían. My mom would tell all her friends, like, look, Sofía, bla, bla, bla. Y como que eso para mí era, ¿verdad? The way. Y se siente muy bonito. I think we all support each other very much in my family.
I love that. I what's funny is about parents and if
Do you feel me with that or no?
100%.
No sé si viene del traditional culture. I don't know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it is.
No,
pero-
it definitely is. It's I think it's culturally a norm,
Ajá.
And similar to what you were just telling me, my parents would tell other people
He's
they're-
amazing. But they wouldn't tell you.
Right. I would hear from hey, que apenas llegaste de París y que es, oh yeah, and I'm like, my parents never told me any of this, like, oh, your dad's so proud of you, and I'm like, well, I wish he told me.
Exacto. Me pasó así. Cada vez nos expresamos más. Yo he tratado de romper también con
Yeah.
eso y, ¿verdad? Pero-
It comes with age, I think, and not just with us, but for them too.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
The more we get in there, yeah, I've experienced that so much. Like
Sí.
I remember, it wasn't even that long ago. I would always tell my dad, I love you. Dad,
Wow.
love you. Okay, pues.
And
Okay.
he would say
love
something
you.
or it would
Okay, yeah, okay.
Ah,
Está bien.
sí.
Okay, nos vemos al rato. Okay,
Sí.
it was never like I love you back or I love you too.
Mm-hmm.
And
And they do.
But a couple years ago, he said,
I love you.
"I love you," and I was like,
Chills.
"My dad loves me."
Chills. That's beautiful. In my case, hugs. I've heard that my grandpa, he was not a hugger. So he would instead of hugging, would do this to their kids. So for my mom hugs have always been such a struggle. She gets awkward, So also I got awkward with hugs. I've been super awkward with hugs. It's just weird to me. And maybe 4 years from now, 3 years from now, I've been practicing hugging.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be awkward at
You
hugging.
hugged us coming in. That was a good hug.
That's a good one. I kind of broke that little pattern not long ago, and I love hugging, but it took me a while. I was
Wow.
always awkward. I have cousins that go and it comes from that. So in my house, when I get there, I'm a big hugger. I'm trying to break.
So
that.
because of that, is touch affection? Is
I
that,
guess, exactly.
Is that a love language of yours or not? Because
Mine is, yeah.
It is.
It's one of the most important ones. There are 5, right? The main ones.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
That is one of my main. I'm very touchy, especially obviously with a boyfriend, whatever. I'm constantly want to be yeah. Maybe comes with that,
Yeah.
It's funny.
No, I love
Sí.
that. I love it. So what do you remember being your favorite part? We talked about, you mentioned, what was the most challenging part of moving here. What would you say was your favorite part about moving to LA and starting this new journey?
New journey. Of course, I was super scared. I'm not gonna lie. But it was very refreshing. That was really exciting for me. I love also being with myself a lot. I know I said that I felt lonely, yes, but that also taught me to be by myself and enjoy that, And so what I liked about LA was that I could go to a restaurant or somewhere walking by myself at the park or whatever, and I had that freedom, I would say. En México, al menos yo creciendo, no era tan común eso de que, bueno, yo me voy sola, como que siempre estás con 1000 gente. Y acá en LA, eso para mí fue interesante, and I think taught me a lot. And yeah, I mean, I came here directly to studio rehearsals, acting classes. I was like, and I learned so much, especially the first years. Había mucho que tenía yo que trabajar y aprender. O sea, desde canto, desde actuación, desde baile, desde todo. Sí.
Yeah.
Pero fue un reto.
I bet.
Yeah.
Would you say you're introverted or extroverted?
Introverted.
Yeah?
100%. Yeah. You?
Same.
Introverted?
Yeah. I like to be by myself too.
I love being with myself. I also think we get to be with ourselves this whole life, at least, that we know. You might as well enjoy it, you know? I think might as well enjoy it. No, I love being by myself.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do when you're, solo, self-care wise? What do you like to do?
I love good baths. I love being with my cats, just chilling on my bed. I love them. I love to read. I love to write, even notes, whatever I'm thinking. I love having that space. I love going to coffee shops by myself. I love driving by myself.
That's right.
That's when my mind is it's meditativo.
Yeah.
And music and podcasts and that's my time with me. So whenever I have to go somewhere that is 45 minutes away, whatever, I love it.
You just turn on Mando and Friends, right?
I love it, exactly.
Yeah.
Sure. I love it. So thank you.
I love that.
Yeah.
So when you talk about driving, right, and it being therapeutic for you, because earlier you were telling me that too, and I was like, wait, you like driving? You like driving in LA?
I know.
But that's something that you enjoy. Where do you just sometimes just get up and go? Ham's gonna go for a little drive?
I should do that more. I always think about it and then I just don't do it. But I think there are so many places everywhere that we can go that are beautiful. But no. And I love road trips and stuff like that. So I try to do that, but I don't do them by myself. Normally I go with friends or, But yeah.
Growing up in grade school, and I don't know if this is normal, but in my school, I went to high school here and middle school in Los Angeles, right? In LA County. And I went to Southgate Middle School and Southgate High School. And when you were by yourself, right? Because you're talking about it's not something of a norm growing up being by yourself. So when someone, or your friends saw you by yourself, they would yell out, "Loner."
No, that's
loner.
Bullying. No.
And that was bullying.
Of course, bullying.
And you're like, oh man, I don't want. So that it wired you. It wired me.
Yeah.
Into thinking that if you were by yourself, you were a loser.
Definitely.
It's I don't want to be by myself.
Definitely.
And eventually you grow out of that.
Yeah.
But
I had to, for sure.
But yes, for anyone watching, if you ever bullied and you were called a loner, hey, listen, you're not a loner, okay? Do stuff by yourself.
Definitely. And it's
healthy.
great. It's healthy. It's great to be by yourself. Yeah, no, I passed through that. I feel like, yeah, I mean, that was just the way. But I definitely think, I don't know if it's my perspective, that here in LA, you get to see a lot of people by themselves. Like, for the first time, I went to the movies, and I would see some people just going by themselves. That doesn't happen in Mexico as much, or what I've seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like here, people tend to be more by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched
Does
the
that make
movie at the theater by yourself?
I haven't.
You haven't. Should try it.
I haven't. I need to break that through. But let's see what I've done by
It's
myself.
quite the experience.
Have you been to the
I
movies
have.
by
I
yourself?
have. I've done it a few times.
I like it. Yeah.
You know, you just to like be at the concessions and just buying. I'll have once, an icy and a popcorn,
And it's just
and then you
You know what I haven't done? Tell me if you have travel by myself.
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah.
Like all the way to somewhere.
And it was magical.
Okay.
You
I want to
have
do
to.
that. But like personal trip, you know?
Yes.
Like I want to go to whatever. I'm just going to say Australia, let's say. I want to go by myself. I'm not meeting anybody there. I don't know what's going on. I have no plan.
Yep.
I'm going by myself. I feel like that's something I want to do, and I'm still scared to do.
It is scary.
Mm-hmm.
It is scary, and it could be scary, but like
Yeah.
it just opens you up to a whole new life and experience, and
In your own pace.
yeah, in your own
Like,
pace. Yeah, for sure.
I like it. So
Yeah.
I've been thinking of doing that soon.
I went to my last solo trip was in Hawaii.
Wow.
I went to Hawaii by myself,
Love Hawaii.
and
By yourself.
someone was like, "Let's go snorkeling," and I was like, "I don't
Someone
know.
random.
I don't know how to swim."
Ah.
Right? And
Wow.
someone random, yeah. I met it at a restaurant, like it's a long story, but I went to go dine, and the people that worked at that diner
Yeah.
were like, "Hey, so," because I was asking where to hike or where to like go hang out or do something cool.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, tomorrow morning at 6, we're all gonna go snorkeling," and I was like, "Okay, cool. I don't know how to swim, but I was like, okay, go, I'll go."
Wow.
So we went hiking, and then we went into this like snorkeling thing, and I'll tell you.
Were you scared of water? No.
I'm not scared of water, but I'm not a great swimmer.
Ajá.
Se metieron ahí a la playa.
Sí.
It was deep, okay?
Ay.
It was like off a cliff, like you have to jump in.
No.
I did it
Wow.
because I was like, you know what? It felt like a movie,
Oh my God. Yes.
and I jumped
You
in.
went with the flow too. Like.
and I went with the flow, and I was just in the moment.
Wow.
And Sofia, it was
No.
one of the most beautiful things I've ever. And then they're like, "Look down,
Wow.
look down." I had goggles. I looked down, and it looked like Finding Nemo.
No.
I was like,
no.
"What is this?" I've
Wow.
never seen that. I'm
Wow.
a city boy.
Yeah.
I'm born and raised in LA. So
Yeah.
like that was so.
Far from your. Yeah.
I would have never experienced that. I think if I
Wow.
would have gone with other people.
Wow, I love it. That's what they say when you travel by yourself. For some reason, more you get to meet more people. They see you maybe by yourself. They're talking to you, and you meet like all these beautiful people, random. I love that.
It's good
I'll
for
do
the
it.
soul, you know.
Yeah.
It's good
Yeah.
for the mind and good for the body.
Mm-hmm.
What do you currently do to help your mental health?
Oof. That's my main topic. I love it. I've been going to my psychologist for the past 8 years. Como 8 años ya llevo con ella. And I love it. It's my priority. Creo que es sumamente importante. Lo que le decía a mi mamá es esto. Porque also other generations are like, what? You know? I feel like we are talking more about it y me encanta. Pero como que life will always have this like, you never know what's gonna happen, you know? Desde lo bueno, lo malo, lo que sea, bla, bla, bla. Y cuando tú tienes todas estas herramientas para poder estar en paz a pesar de lo que sea que llegue a pasar, es algo como tan poderoso, siento yo. Entonces, es un trabajo para mí de día a día. It's a daily work. Y ha sido el camino más bonito. O sea, llevo, te digo, 8 o 9 años desde que me adentré a este camino y me encanta. And I never keep learning. Y me fascina. I always say, if I were I weren't, si no sería, como se dice, si no fuera, if I weren't,
if you weren't, yeah.
if I weren't
Yeah.
a singer, I would have been like a psychologist or something like that.
Yeah,
like I'm passionate.
Or therapist, like
or a therapist or something. I love it.
Really?
Me hubiera encantado estudiarlo.
I love
Maybe
that.
one day lo voy a estudiar.
I
Me
love
gusta.
that. I love what? How long have you been doing therapy for?
8 years.
8 years. Oh,
8
okay.
or 9 at this point. It's
What
a long time.
Initially made you start?
I felt that I didn't have the best relationship with like a very close member of my family, and that was causing me so much stress. And then I remember I was on a flight and I had this panic attack. I didn't know what a panic attack was or anything. Started shaking, felt cold. I didn't know. I thought I was gonna die, literally.
Wow.
And I was on a plane, actually from Hawaii to LA. And I freaked out. Didn't know what to do with my body, shaking, till I fell asleep maybe an hour later, 30, I don't know. And after that, that's when I was like, okay, something's wrong, you know? Like, and so that's how I started taking therapy with Vivi, and she's been my psychologist all these years. And it's been a beautiful, tough, like, journey, but it's been amazing. I promise, always... como que del otro lado del trabajo, que puede ser muy incómodo, hay un mundo hermoso. Entonces, yeah, I love it.
I feel like
I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm happy that you started too. I started doing therapy in the middle of the pandemic.
Okay,
so like mid 2020 I started doing therapy, and it was same
¿Y qué
here.
o sea, por qué en la pandemia? Obviamente...
Yeah, como paró todo.
Sí.
Estaba nomás yo en mi casa y
en tu cabeza.
Yeah, y en mi cabeza.
Y en tu cabeza.
And things got really just heavy, you know? And you just start thinking about a lot of things that I think were in far in the background.
Como las vas dejando así abajo de la mesa.
And you know, like the day-to-day work day, and so like whatever, like I'm not worried about that now, but when everything stops, I had to listen.
You had to embrace all these things that you had been putting under the table, you know, under the couch, like
yeah, it was all like okay. I gotta face it now.
I gotta face it,
you know, and
yeah,
and I started doing it, and you know, just like you said, it's for me, it's been one of the most impactful things, one of the most eye-opening things I've ever done, and it's made me into just a better person. A better man, you know, and a better overall just being, right? Like I want to always be better. If there is something that I can do to improve my life, improve my mind, improve who I am, treat people better,
I love it.
I'm gonna do that. You know,
that's the way. I love it.
It's scary.
It's scary.
And I think for a lot of people, they're like, no, I don't want to do that. And it's like, okay, you know what? That's fine. I respect it, because there's always a time.
That's what I was gonna say. We all find our time. I think it takes so many like concepts or ideas of like therapy is you take therapy because you're crazy, you know,
right?
Or
that's
you go
the stigma.
to therapy because you are, you know what I mean, and then that's it's a stigma. That's the word exactly. And I feel like it's important to take that out of the way, and it also takes it. I mean, it's always gonna be uncomfortable, you know, to have to face and like work through all this like trauma, all these things, blah blah blah. It's always gonna be uncomfortable. It's always gonna be hard. But I do believe that como que o tarde o temprano los tienes que face, if that makes sense.
Right.
Si no se va haciendo más grande la pelota. Como que siento que you have to, como esta frase típica, the only way out is through. Yo sí creo que se tienen que atravesar.
You gotta the faster you can diffuse a hardship in your life, in your heart, in your mind, the easier it gets, you know, or the more challenging it will get if you the more you wait. And it's far from easy, you know. It's far from easy, and it's not like overnight, right?
Yeah.
There's been days when I'm about to go into a session, and I don't know if I'm gonna say dreading it, but it's like, man, I already know how heavy it, you know, and how heavy it can get. So you kind of sometimes brace yourself for it, but it kind of feels, you know how they say you never regret a workout.
Sí, es lo mismo.
Es lo mismo.
Es lo mismo. Te vas y dices que es como sí, no, I love it. It's so important. Para toda la gente que nos está escuchando, gran invitación a tomar terapia. Es un camino muy bonito, muy bonito.
Yeah, and you love to talk about it. You love to tell you know your followers, and you're open about that. What makes you be so open and talk about that? And
because it changed my life, really. Porque se ha vuelto tan esencial para mí. Todas como que estas herramientas, porque at the end of the day, para mí son tools, no son herramientas.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the journey of healing, it's also the journey of getting to know yourself better. And getting to know yourself better, it's so beautiful. Sí, es un journey muy, muy bonito. Y te digo, es infinito, es como que... Y uno se va de que, bueno, estos traumas vienen porque el papá y la mamá, y entonces todo se desglosa. y yo, que si el miedo al rechazo, bueno, entonces por esto. Y es como un puzzle, and I love it. Pero sí, it gets down to self-love, ¿no? Y como que entendiendo que si tú estás bien, que tú estás en paz, tú estás amándote a ti mismo, haciendo este trabajo, obviamente, your life around you changes completely. Desde la gente que te rodea, las oportunidades, las experiencias, tu perspectiva al mundo. And you end up having such a different perspective of life, and it becomes just a happier life, a healthier life, you know? And eso no tiene precio, you know what I mean? And then with that, you can also be in a place where you can be in service to others. And for me, the fact that therapy changed my life so much, of course I want to share it to everybody because it's so beautiful. Como del otro lado de todo lo difícil y de este proceso hay algo muy, muy bonito y muy mágico. Entonces, sí, para mí es esencial. My mental health goes before anything else. It's my number one priority.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me at least, it's been a hard to, maybe not hard to learn, but hard to put into action.
Okay.
To take care of mental health, you know, because like there's burnout and there's a lot of things, and sometimes it takes a conversation during therapy to remind me of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I feel like my psychologist back in the day, I remember she brought like a circle to me. And the circle is todo, ¿no? Y está the family, el trabajo, the friends, your time, así, está dividido en 1000 partes.
Yeah.
And how important it is to find the balance. Y eso hace que tú estés en armonía. And so I have that as a mantra. And when I feel like, okay, maybe this week it's extremely busy, I'll find a day, maybe this week or next week, I'll give myself 3 days off, let's say. I'm constantly trying to balance it out because I think it is so important to find, you know, a balance in that circle.
Yeah.
Porque si no, you end up being super unhappy here y acá, y es como... No sé, yo procuro tratar de encontrar ese balance. Sí.
100%.
You end up, I feel like, alguien me dijo, cuando haces algo tanto todos los días, como humano, que estamos acostumbrados al cambio y la vida es el cambio, te cansas. O sea, ya no te hace feliz ese algo o lo que sea. Entonces, you have to do other things,
yeah.
You know? A veces a mí me pasa que la música me apasiona, pero a veces cuando hay mucho trabajo y canción tras, ¿sabes? Como mucho trabajo así. La parte mía creativa a veces la pongo en otro lugar también y es pintar, hacer pulseras, qué sé yo, tocar otro instrumento. Something completely different where I can put my creativity out. Porque a veces siento que puede el trabajo estar muy ocupado, if that makes sense. So I try to balance things out y me ha dado mucha paz.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, because that is not just important, but it's insightful for all of us, and it's a reminder too, because some of us know it, but
We know it,
but
sí.
we forget. You know, like the
Yeah.
whole. You just said, you know, I try to give myself some days off. That's so important.
Some people get very anxious when they have days off. Es como, ¿qué voy a hacer esta semana? O sea, ¿cómo esta semana no voy a hacer nada? Just lay at the beach? No, I need to work. ¿No?
Yeah.
Y es bueno también, es un regalo muy bonito al darte también ese day off o esos días off, así.
Yeah. Thank you.
Es un balance.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I'm learning that right now.
That's beautiful.
I
It's
just
important.
gave myself a day yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you do yesterday?
I just laid in bed and watched Hulu.
I love it. Did you feel guilty or you were able
No.
to actually enjoy?
No, I enjoyed it. I made
Okay,
sure
nice.
I just, you know, I mean, I picked up my phone. I worked a little bit, but it was just not get up and go every
Yeah.
day on the daily. I'm just up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
I talked to my therapist about it. Even like self-care is like, okay, go run and do
And you go.
self-care, and then off to the next. She's like, that's not how self-care
That's
works.
not self-care.
You can't be
Yeah.
rushing and having anxiety on your way to self-care.
Yeah.
You know, and running out of there. It doesn't. She's like, next time, just do this. Take things off of your schedule instead of adding.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the other, yeah. So
That one's
like,
important too.
I'm learning that.
Because sometimes you're like, from 8 to 9, I'm going to do this, and from 9:30 to the... And you pack your day of things, and then maybe you have to be a little more picky of what things yes, what things no, so you can have... No? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's something that I've also learned. Yeah. Sometimes we want to do it all, and
to
we're
be
just
selective.
stressed
Yeah.
all day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And to not say yes to everything, because I'm
Exactly.
that person.
Yeah. What's your sign? I just wonder.
I'm a Pisces.
You're a Pisces. Okay. Okay. I don't know much. I was just wondering.
What's your sign?
I'm a Libra.
A Libra.
Ajá.
Nice.
Sí, sí.
Nice. So, Sofia,
Almost.
so we talked about where you came from,
Ajá.
right? Being Monterrey, Mexico.
Sí.
In Monterrey,
Sí.
las cumbias
Sí.
are big.
Sí. Muy buenas.
Muy buenas. And for out of Monterrey, is that injected into who you are and the music that you've created throughout the years?
I would say for sure. And it's more like unconscious, if that makes sense. Como que I would think that growing up, I wouldn't listen to cumbias as much. I would be more into like Miguel Bosé, you know, like, I don't know, La Oreja de Van Gogh and stuff like that. But being from Monterrey, of course, I was
It's
very
around you.
influenced. It's around, so that's why I say unconscious, you know. It's like I grew up listening, of course, to everything. And I love cumbia. I feel like a couple years ago, I would say, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, I got into cumbia like so much. It's like so bad. I feel it in my soul, you know. Es como a huevo quieres bailar con la cumbia.
Yeah.
Entonces sí, I love cumbia. Y también como la cumbia medio psicodélica y así. Amo. Sí.
I think it's the bass. The bass
The
is
bass,
just
pum, 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 pum. Ya sabes.
yeah.
Me encanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? I know you just looking at your discography,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have music and created songs
Yes.
in many different genres.
Ya. Sí.
What would you say is your favorite? What's that like? What's that place that you just love to create? Like what's? I mean, I'm sure
Sí.
it depends on the
Many.
mood.
Sí.
Maybe, but what would you say is your favorite genre to create?
I would say cumbia is definitely one. But again, since I'm very introverted, I guess, and I love writing and telling stories and stuff. When it comes to writing ballad songs, más como singer-songwriter, ballad, just creo que that's my forte, o lo que sea. Es como, no mi forte, pero donde yo me siento como lo más yo. Obviamente me encanta escribir de todo y así es como he hecho mi música, y I love exploring, playing with genres. I think that's super fun. Pero yo sí creo que cuando estoy, ponle tú, en mi piano and I'm just like writing, y es un poco más melancólico, acordes más melancólicos, that's I think where I'm like, ahí estoy yo muy cañón. Sí.
What comes first? Writing, like the pen, or getting a song or creating the chords? Like how do you work?
It depends. It's interesting. Most of the times, if I go to a session, let's say it's me and the producer, no? And he starts creating sounds, and then we go places with the vibe, then you kind of start throwing harmonies, melodies, ¿no? Entonces empiezas, está el sonido, el beat, te da un vibe, si es como happy or sad, o, you know, the feel, y empiezas a tirar melodías, y empiezas como tararira, ya sabes, y vas tirando, y ya con eso empiezas a escribir. Eso es como lo más común, pero sí me ha pasado que estoy manejando y me llega una idea como, wow, quiero escribir de esto, y al decir el mensaje que quiero decir, la melodía comes with it, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Entonces eso también como que hay formas, y otras estar en el piano, discovering chords, y de ahí irle metiendo melodía y letra. That's, I think, my favorite way.
Yeah, you know, you've collabed with a lot of people. And
yes,
and I that's an amazing feat, because a lot of people don't get that ability, or don't have that connection, or you know, there's just artists don't want to collab with they're very picky, you know, with who they collab with. And when it comes to you, there's been a lot of collaborations throughout your career. Do you have a favorite, the one that connects to your heart?
Uy. It's hard to pick one, you know. It's hard to pick one. I feel, I mean, on this album, I'm not supposed to say names because the song hasn't come out, but one of the artists, he's from Mexico, he's from Guadalajara. I feel like it's been a very special feature. I'm gonna think of a song that's already out. For me, okay, en pandemia surgió, me escribió mi manager y me dijo, oye, Michael Bublé está haciendo esta canción que se llama Gotta Be Patient. Patient. Y era sobre la pandemia, como de be patient, de que we can do this, bla, bla, bla. Y me escribió de que y pregunta a Michael Bublé si quieres tú hacer la canción con él y tal. Y yo no lo podía creer porque I'm a huge fan. My dad is a huge fan, always grew up with Michael Bublé en mi casa. Entonces eso de pandemia fue una locura porque fue en un momento como también de what is going on with the world, what are we living, y al mismo tiempo de una oportunidad de hacer una canción con un artista que admiro muchísimo, y que él me marcara por FaceTime, ¿no? De que random, y para planear de la canción y tal, y mira, y mi familia, fue como muy loco para mí toda esa experiencia. Entonces yo creo que fue una de las que más me marcaron, I would say. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's Michael Bublé.
It's,
you know,
Michael Bublé.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and I'm assuming that was a different type of like song to create too, no?
Definitely. In my case, I keep avoiding sitting down in the computer and learn how to produce and all of that, because I'm like, I know that there's so much for me to learn. Es como querer ver ahorita El Señor de los Anillos and you're like, here I go, you know? Bueno, así a veces me siento de que, entonces tengo todo set en mi casa y es de que un día yo me voy a sentar and I'm gonna learn how to do this, and that day hasn't arrived. So with like pandemia, that was kind of like, you know, it forced me to, I wrote the part, whatever, but there was no one that would cut vocals for me, that would cut my vocals. So I did it myself in my house and I cried. I was like very frustrated because again, it was a song with Michael Bublé, great opportunity, but I didn't know how to cut my vocals, and I spent so many hours trying to comp and edit and had no idea how to do it. My friend was, we did a Zoom, you know, he explained to me a little bit, whatever, but it was really frustrating for me to do it. And
wanting to get it right, too,
and wanting to get it right, exactly. Again, Michael Bublé, you know? So that was a big challenge, but it also showed me that I'm capable of doing it. Haven't done it, but I'm gonna go back to it. I should. I want to be better at that for sure.
What can you tell me about Hoy Me Porto Mal?
Hoy Me Porto Mal, it's my new single. It's crazy because this song, it is a very special song to me. I just love it very much. No tiene el mensaje más deep del mundo ni nada, but it's such a vibe. Y nunca había hecho algo así, y cuando hice esta canción sentí que era muy yo, you know? For me, it was like, this is very me. Whatever that means, I was like, this is very me. Y al principio, mucha parte de mi equipo como que no sentía que era una canción que fuera a ser el single, ¿no? Maybe it's not the most comercial, o no es la... Habían muchas opiniones, ¿no? Normal. Y la canción por un momento no iba a ser un single. Pero yo desde el día uno es de que hay algo especial con No Me Porto Mal. I think this song... And it ended up being a single, and I'm just extremely happy that it's a single, that I got to do a video, that it's out, that people get to enjoy it as much as I do. Pero sí, sí, es muy especial para mí. Es que I don't know o sea, cómo explicarlo, pero siento que es muy yo. Entonces, es muy, pues eso.
That makes sense. There's a connection to that song that speaks to you in a like personal, in a soulful way. Yeah. When do we expect the album? If that's the single coming off that album.
The album comes in. I have the date. I haven't set the date yet, but 2 months ish.
Okay.
Before the year ends.
By the end of 2023.
By the end of 2023. Okay. Yeah. I'm excited.
When are you going to tell your fans about your feature with Mando Fresco?
It's a secret. We cannot tell them yet. We were not supposed to.
I think it's time we leak that. Or I'll leak that song myself.
Okay, right now.
She's like, do it.
Right now.
I'm not even going to use it. No, I have not recorded with Sofia. I'm not even good at karaoke. So.
Really? No? You sing? You do. I bet you do.
Yeah, I'm more of a performer. The vocal range is not really there, but I like to put on a show.
What do you do? Like you walk from one side to the other?
Yeah. I grab a chair, I flip the chair around, I sit down on it, I stand on top of the chair, I'll invite you to our next karaoke session here.
I would love. There are great karaoke places here in LA.
Yeah, there are. Do you karaoke?
I haven't been in a little bit, but I used to go a lot to, what's his name? There's one in Koreatown. There's so many in Koreatown.
So many, yeah.
It's a speakeasy. Do you know what I'm talking about or no?
There's
it has like hidden doors, and then you open the door and it's a karaoke. I did a release party there because I used to go so much. I forgot the name. I'll think about it. But we should do karaoke. It's fun.
Yeah, no, it is fun.
It's fun.
And okay, so when you karaoke, are you singing like, okay, because you're a professional singer, right?
Yeah.
Are you singing like, your best, or are you just kind of going with it and having fun?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. With karaoke, I feel like I enjoy better when people sing and are having fun
Yeah.
than like...
Trying to hit the notes, like every note.
Yeah, that gives me a tiny, tiny little... I don't want to say cringe, but yes, baby.
Yeah.
Like, you're there having fun. Everyone's kind of drunk, whatever. And then, a song comes in and you want to be like, it's... For me, it's like, no, this should be fun.
Yeah.
We're not... So maybe it goes that way, yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Confieso,
I
sí,
agree with
confieso.
you, because sometimes people want to perform like the way Adele recorded it in the studio.
Exactly. I mean, it's beautiful. That's what karaoke is for. But in my case, Sofia, I like to enjoy it more of like, whatever,
Yeah.
ha ha ha. We all sing together. You missed your part. I missed my part. I don't know. Than being like so, OCD about it.
Right.
Yeah, taking it too seriously. That's
I
what
want to be
mean.
like, y ahora estoy aquí.
It's fun.
Borracho y loco. Like, yeah, you want to do that. Yeah, I totally get it.
So,
Who are you listening to right now?
That's a great question. My phone's there. I would say it's a little plot twisty, but I've been so much into like house music.
Oh, nice.
I'm really bad with names, especially on that genre. But I love house music. I love, I don't know if you've heard Hermanos Gutierrez.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like guitars, blah, blah. I listen to a lot of that kind of stuff. Joaquín Cornejo. Nicolás Yar. Estoy pensando. So I've been so much into that type of music. There are so many elements that you'll hear in this album that make sense with that type of music, aunque no esté haciendo house, pero hay algo con los sonidos que a mí me mueve el alma y me encanta. And then I listen to reggaeton fully. Me encanta Karol G. Ahorita la he tenido muy presente. La verdad, un poco de todo, pero sí, ahorita he estado más como en house music. Como que explorando los sonidos, los layers. He estado muy metida por ahí.
Should
Sí.
we expect maybe that vibe in the album?
There is, I mean, yeah, there are some definitely elements. Desde Luna, que es una canción que saqué, tiene ciertos elementos que van por ahí. Hasta cómo la voz se maneja o se mueve, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sí hay una canción en el álbum especialmente que sí tiene todavía más esa onda. Me gusta mucho.
I love that.
Sí.
Now, the genre que está pegando, que
Sí.
está quebrando, which is like the
Por
corridos
todo el mundo.
tumbados.
Corridos tumbados, sí.
Right?
Ajá. Great.
Do you want to do like some songs or music in that genre? Do you see yourself?
100%. First off, I love que está rompiendo por todo el mundo. Creo que es un hermoso momento también como para artistas mexicanos, ¿no? Me encanta, es un gran momento. I love corridos tumbados. Traté, o sea, en este álbum había una canción que empezaba, que era un corrido tumbado, que después lo terminé convirtiendo yo en un bolero.
Oh,
I ended
wow.
up like switching everything porque sentía yo que yo, Sofía, le estaba forzando un poco. Y como que fue que no, I want this to feel honest with me. Entonces como que me encantaría hacer un corrido tumbado, pero quiero que sea de lo más honesto conmigo, de lo más natural. Me imagino que sería más como un artista que represente este género y yo como colaborar
Right.
y entrar y explorarlo. Entonces viene un poquito más por ahí, pero sí, me gusta mucho.
I think you would kill that. I think you
Me gusta
would
mucho.
do such a good job
Sí.
in that genre. If
Y es un genre que realmente no he explorado O sea, que nunca he hecho algo así realmente.
How about like a
Entonces, I wanna
cumbia,
try.
like a Grupo Frontera type of cumbia?
Me encanta, me encanta, me encanta. Hice el año pasado una canción con este man y con Los Ángeles Azules. Amo la cumbia. Es que yo creo que eso y te digo, y el house ahorita son como que lo que más me mueve el alma.
Yeah.
I love. Sí.
Yeah.
Sí.
So, live shows.
Live shows.
When can we see you? When would you like to start hitting, you know, the
Stage.
stage again?
Well, I feel like
I mean, I feel
was...
like you haven't really stopped, but like just on your own tour and stuff like that.
No, definitely. I've never done my own tour, and I think it's about time.
Yeah.
I was doing so many shows and festivals, and I did some of my shows too in Argentina, Mexico, before COVID happened. And then obviously we stopped. I put an album out, and then again, COVID. And then because of that, I started working on a second album, which is the one that's coming out before the year ends. And the goal for me is to start touring next year. Entonces ya con este álbum nuevo, con Mal de Amores, todo esto que ha pasado, toda esta música que he sacado, poderla ahora sí llevar en vivo. Y ya, o sea, justo estoy armando y bajando todas mis ideas para el show, lo que quiero compartir, lo que quiero poner afuera y qué quiero que la gente sienta o... Sí, qué es lo que quiero que la gente se quede, ¿no?
Sí.
And so I'm planning that and I'm really excited. Super excited.
I'm
So
sure.
next year, si Dios quiere, ya estaremos dando una gira.
I'm sure it's going to be
Sí.
big. I'm sure it's going to be,
Thank you.
you know, amazing. And, you know, your fans are so loyal to you and
They are beautiful.
and they just love
sí.
you. How do your fans connect with you and how do you connect with your fans? What's that feeling like?
Obviamente sabemos que las redes sociales, social media help a lot with that, but for me, there's nothing more special than being in person type of thing. So when I travel places, I try to do like a meet and greet or something where we can all, you know, hang and meet. And those moments for me are like, I feel like in those moments, I fully understand what's going on, if that makes sense. Sometimes with my phone, via like lives or text or stuff, sometimes I do feel, no sé cómo explicarlo, como que entiendo que estoy conectando con la gente y así, pero una vez que estoy como en persona es otra cosa y lo sientes y es diferente, ¿sabes? Y yo soy muy de gente, entonces creo que el tema de los shows y todo eso va a ser algo muy especial, porque no es lo mismo que estar en la pantalla. O sea, aunque todavía pueda, obviamente, conectar y es divino, y nos da todas estas herramientas, a veces no logro dimensionar, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm maybe doing a live, and people are there connected, y estamos escribiendo y texteando, pero el hecho de que no veo sus caras, no puedo tener esta conversación, siento que hay como un filtro, una pared o algo, no sé cómo explicarlo.
Yeah.
Entonces, I'm just obviously extremely grateful. They're beautiful. Hace poquito canté en México and I got a chance to see so many of my fans, new fans too, that it was the first time que estaba conociendo. And I cried after the show. Es como una energía muy bonita, me encanta. Sí, soy más de persona. Entonces lo que estoy buscando mucho ahorita con la gira, poder conectar con toda la gente, verlos, conocerlos. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like sometimes we here at our media company at Hubwav, we work nonstop, and we're always creating content. And you know, in the world that we live in, it's like the next day, give me something else. What else you have? You know, and it's easy to get lost in that.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll get a message, and like you said, you feel like you're creating, you feel like you're connecting with people by putting stuff out, and then I'll get like a message that really just makes it all worth it, or it'll really remind me that why I'm doing what I'm doing.
You're doing. Exactly.
And I feel like connecting with people, even in person must be a deeper level.
Deeper level. And I think it's important, considering that we live in a world, as you say, that it's like content, songs,
It's
blah,
so
blah,
fast.
like
Yes.
so fast. It's important to stop and like actually connect, you know? For me, sometimes I'm like rushing all these things, blah, blah, I did a story, then I did a poster, whatever.
Yep.
Put a song out, then
Yep.
right now I'm working on a mix because this other song has to be out, but I just released the song, you know?
Yes.
It's like, blah. So I try to find those spaces where I stop and I actually retext, like feel it, reply, and like really connect. I think that's so important. Because if not, you just go, you know? It is so important. Yeah.
You know, I feel like some years ago, for artists,
Yeah.
it was you would work on a song, and you would put that song out,
Yeah.
right? And then you would promote it and you would perform it. But now it's like you put a song out, and then a week or two later you put another song out, and it almost starts to
crazy.
feel like content.
Yes. It's tough.
That right? Like I've been thinking about that, you know, and as a music fan, I think and you know, I've loved music since I can remember.
Yeah.
Right? Like I started DJing when I was really, really young.
Wow.
And it's been in my blood, right?
Yes.
Now as a music fan, it's tough
Yeah.
to even with your favorite artist, it's tough to like stay connected to, oh, ya salió esta canción y oh, pero apenas salió you know, so it's hard to keep up. But I
Yeah.
feel like the culture of what is music now
Yeah.
is so difficult for artists like yourself
Yeah.
sometimes. I feel for you guys sometimes.
Sí. Thank you. I do feel the pressure sometimes. I feel like, for me, you know, I don't want to see it as content. For me, like, every song is so important. Like, with Hoy Me Porto Mal, it took me a year and a half to really, like, make it, you know, and, like, finish it and, like, okay, it's ready. A year and a half, and then you put it out. And then maybe a week passed by, and someone's like, but now I want to hear something new. Like, and you're like, wait, you know, the song just came out. And obviously, you know, we have the power right now to play a song on repeat as many times until you're like, I'm over it. And that can happen in a day if you think about it. So yeah, it is crazy. There's a type of pressure, but I try to find a balance where I can still, like, take my time, or the time the songs take the time. How can I say it? Como tomarme el tiempo para hacer las canciones como yo creo que la canción se merece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Como que no se volvería tan divertido todo esto para mí si tuviera que nada más do this song y córrele, ta. I love the process. I love the, right now I'm not inspired, but maybe tomorrow the lyrics will come. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I need to go to the beach, and that's when the lyrics will come.
Yeah.
Like that, there's such beauty in that.
Yes.
I was hearing a podcast from Alicia Keys. I can't remember the song, but one of her biggest songs, and she was explaining how she wrote it, and the whole chorus, like, she couldn't figure it out. A year passes by, you know? And then one day the husband says something, and she's like, this is it. But, like, she started the song a year earlier, and there's it's so beautiful, you know, to respect some type of, like, process and time. With music, obviously, again, with the pace of our world right now, you can't just be like, in 5 years. But there's such beauty in that too. So I try to balance it out. Obviously, sometimes I'm like, okay, I have to finish this song, and it's today, and then, you know, I end up doing it. But I try to not rush it if I'm not inspired or whatever, you know.
For sure. I was with my sister we were at the having dinner table,
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh yeah, play this song by this artist and the new song." And I was like, "This one?" And she's like, "No, that one came out like 2 weeks ago." And I was like, "Oh, this one?" She's like, "No, that's like a month old." Like I was like, "Which one?" I don't
What?
find it. Yeah, and I was like, "You know what? I really don't like that. I really don't like that." And it's not an artist's fault. I just feel it's become the culture
It's
of what
a
is
culture.
the
people
music,
around-
what is music today, right? But like, I think you're doing it right.
Yeah.
I think you're doing it right by like, taking your time and connecting with
Yeah.
music in that level because,
It's important for me because I love music so much that if not, I would end up doing something else. You know what I mean? Yeah, I wanna respect, the music, the songs, and I don't know. It's important for me. It's
I love
important.
that.
Yeah.
Now, Sofia, I have rapid fire with Sofia Reyes. Are you ready for this?
Oh my God. Okay. What is this? Like questions back, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm ready.
And if you get it wrong,
What
that's
happens?
an ejector seat. So you just be careful. This opens up.
Okay.
Favorite food dish?
Quesadillas.
Yeah.
Just tortilla y queso. Nothing else.
I love quesadillas.
I love quesadillas.
Con una salsita, you know what I'm saying?
On the side,
Yeah. Just dip it.
I'm very OCD with that. It's just tortilla y queso. And then salsa on the side.
I love that. I love that. Best song to play at a party.
Hoy me porto mal.
I like that. Good answer. Greatest singer of all time.
Whitney Houston.
Your favorite rapper.
Daddy Yankee, Farruko.
Nice.
Sí.
What's a nickname of yours that no one really knows about?
Maria Cleofas. O Cleofas Maria. That's my dad always. He's always like, Maria Cleofas o Cleofas Maria. I don't know why. I don't know why. But that's, yeah.
Well, Maria Cleofas.
Maria Cleofas. O
Thank you
Cleofas Maria.
so much for coming to Mando and Friends. Make some noise for
Thanks
Sofia
for
Reyes.
having me. Thanks for having me. Such a great time.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
This is your house. Whenever
Thank
you
you,
want to
thank
come
you.
by. Okay?
Thank you. I take your word. And then we need to go to a karaoke
I'm down.
bar. Okay.
I'm there.
Okay.
And you'll see what I'm talking about.
I can't wait.
The voice isn't all there, but the show
The
is.
performance.
Yes.
The performance. Okay.
Thank you, Sofia Reyes. Thank you so
Thank
much for listening and watching Mando and Friends presented by Verizon.